Assalamu alaikum students. I am Alina Taj from Hamza Army Public School and College. I welcome you all in the APSAC's online support program. Today I will tell you about verb and its kinds. So let's get started. What is verb? You have been studying verb since beginning. A verb is a word which shows action or state of being. There are several types of verbs to be studied. Students, we have different kinds of verb here. First of all, there is action verb, transitive verb, intransitive verb, finite verb, non-finite verb. Then there is dynamic verb, stative verb, regular, irregular verb, and auxiliary verbs. First of all, I will tell you about action verb. As you studied that verb is an action word. So what is action verb? It shows us what action a subject, person, animal, object is performing, has performed or will perform. For example, Rob played cricket. Played is the action performed by Rob. Alice baked cake for the party. Your dog is barking in the park. I wrote a letter to my cousin. Ducks are swimming in the pond. So all of these words that have been underlined are action verbs because they are showing certain actions. Next kind is transitive verb. Transitive verbs are action verbs that have an object to receive that action. Basically, it requires an object in order to be grammatical. The meaning of a transitive verb is incomplete without a direct object. Let me give you a few examples. The cat broke the pot. Like after broke, we have used the pot. So this pot is basically receiving this action. Without pot, broke is incomplete. He moved the chair. Moved is verb, transitive verb, and the chair is object here. She bought some new books. Bought is a transitive verb as she bought some new books. Without these new books, bought is incomplete. My cousin wrote a letter to me. So here, writing shows that there is a letter to write. So intransitive verb is basically opposite of transitive verb. It is an action verb that does not take a direct object or complement to receive action. Many verbs have both a transitive and an intransitive function, depending on how they are used. Let me give you a few examples for clarity. In the first example, I am studying at the moment. Studying is an intransitive verb because at the moment is not an object. It does not tell you that what I am studying. So no direct object for the verb has been used here. In the second example, his father was driving at that time. At that time is not an object. As if we said his father was driving a car. A car would have been an object and this verb would have been a transitive verb, not an intransitive verb. So here driving is just an intransitive verb. Sarah is cooking right now. Right now is again telling you a time. So cooking is an intransitive verb because after cooking there is no dish. The child is sneezing repeatedly. Repeatedly is again an adverb. Adverb of frequency. So it is not an object. Basically, this sneezing becomes intransitive. Students, next kind is finite verb. Finite verbs are those verbs that have a definite relation with the subject or noun. These verbs are usually the main verb of a sentence and can be changed according to the noun. Used only in present and past tense. Note it down that they are used only in present and past tense, not future. So for example, verbs appear in almost all sentences. Here, appear is underlined, so it is finite verb because this is a present tense. If you change it into past tense, verbs appeared in almost all sentences. So appear has been changed. Appear becomes appeared. So that is why it is finite because it can be changed. This dog barks in the park. So barks can be changed into past tense like this dog barked in the park. So bark is basically finite verb. Fred said that he enjoyed the show. Said and enjoyed, they're already in past tense and they can be changed into present like Fred says that he enjoys the show. So again these two words become finite verbs. My sister plays the piano. So plays is a present tense. So my sister played the piano shows that plays can be changed into past tense. That is why plays is a finite verb. I hope the concept is clear. So let me discuss non-finite verb. Non-finite is totally opposite to finite verb. These verbs cannot be the main verb of a sentence as they do not talk about the action that is being performed by the subject. They do not indicate any tense, mood or gender. Totally opposite to finite verb. Let me give you a few examples. In the first example, I will continue my work later. Will is showing the tense, not continue. If you want to change the tense, continue will remain same. In the second example, we like camping in the woods. If I want to change this sentence into past, I would say we liked camping in the woods. So liked has been changed, not camping. Camping remains same. So that is why camping is non-finite verb. Children are learning to swim. Here if I want to change the tense, I would change are into were in past tense. That is why learning is a non-finite verb because learning will not change. Learning will remain learning. The running person caused panic. Again, running shows no tense, no mood. So that is why running is a non-finite verb. Last example shows you need to accept this. Again, if you want to change the tense, you would say you needed to accept this as accept is same, so it is a non-finite verb. Let me repeat, they do not indicate any tense, mood or gender. Next kind is dynamic verb. A dynamic verb, as the name shows, is a verb that shows continued or progressive action of the subject. It indicates that something is happening or was happening or will be happening. For example, those girls buy clothes every week. So buy shows a continued progress that they buy clothes every week. He is singing at the party. Singing is again shows that something is happening. We are investing in dollars this time. Investing is again a dynamic verb as it shows that there is a progress. She was selling her old books in the garage sale. So here selling shows it is a dynamic verb because there is a continued or progressive action. So next kind is stative verb. A stative verb is one that describes a state of being, person, animal, object. This verb does not describe the action like dynamic verb. For example, my sister prefers a chocolate cake. Prefers does not show any action here. It just shows that it is her choice. He likes playing tennis. So likes is just a state of being. It is not an action verb. I think tea is better than coffee. Think is just again a state of being. Your brother hates driving. Everyone appeared at the party. Would you mind if I sit here? Always remember me in your prayers. So all these underlined words prefers, likes, think, hates, appeared, mind and remember. They show that they are just state of being. They do not describe the action like dynamic verbs. Next kind after stative verb is regular verb. A verb that follows standard pattern in its inflection means change in the form at the end. Its form follows the regular pattern of words. The past tense of this verb is formed by adding an ed ending jump into jumped. Like we have added ed here, so it has become jumped. Laugh, laughed. For example, you learn verbs in English class. So the second and third form of learn is learned, learned. Like in the second example, have you already learned verbs? Ask your mother if she needs any help. He asked his mother if she needed any help. So ask has become asked. That is why they are regular verbs. Next kind, irregular verb, is connected to regular verb. If you have understood regular verb, you will get the idea what is irregular verb. It is basically a verb whose variation of form doesn't follow the standard patterns in its inflection. Its form follows a different pattern, and that is why it's called irregular verb. Let me show you the examples. We will go there on time. They went to the party last night. My sister has gone to London. Go is basically the first form of verb, and it has went and gone as second and third form, which shows that it is irregular verb and it has different second and third forms. It's not like you add ed to it and it becomes go, goed, goed. That is wrong. The second form is went and gone, which are different from go. So that is why they are irregular verb. Like let me make some coffee. She made coffee for me. So the second form is made and third form is made. That is why it's different from make and it is irregular verb. Next and the last kind is auxiliary verb. An auxiliary verb is a verb used to add functional or grammatical meaning to the clause in which it appears. It is used in forming the tenses, moods, and voices of other verbs. Also called helping verbs because they help the main verb. For example, he is making the assignment. Is a helping or auxiliary verb because is helping making the main verb in this sentence. She was giving the presentation. They have been studying. The team will score better this time. I can speak Spanish. Was is a helping or auxiliary verb. It is helping giving. Have been is an auxiliary verb. It is helping the main verb studying here. And will is helping score as a main verb. I can speak Spanish. Can is helping speak here. So they all are auxiliary verbs as they are helping the main verbs here. Students, there is a little bit variation for auxiliary verbs. They are classified in three categories. First of all, there is be, which is known as mother of all helping verbs. For past, there is was and were. For I, he, she, it, you use was. And for you, we, they, you use were. In present, you use I am, you are, we are, they are. And for he, she, it, you use is. For future, all pronouns take will be. Second category is do. In past form, did is used for all pronouns, but for present, does is used for he, she, it, and for I, you, we, they, you use do. And for future, it's I will do for all pronouns. Like the third category shows have, which in past you use had. For all pronouns you use had, and for present I have, you have, we have, they have, and he, she, it take has. And for future it's I will have, you will have, he, she, it, they all take will have as an auxiliary verb. Students, there is a second category in auxiliary verbs which is known as modal auxiliary. Modal auxiliary verbs are can, could, might, may, should or ought to, must, would. So what do they model? Basically can model ability, possibility, informal, polite request permission. Like in examples, you can see, I can't swim. Can I borrow this ruler? You can go to the party. Same way, could shows polite request, certainty, or suggestion. Like, could you tell me the time? She could be there by now. You could ring them. Might is certainty but less than 50%. Where are they? They might be at the park. They might be at the park shows that we are certain but less than 50%. May is basically polite request, formal permission, or certainty. Less than 50%. Let me use them in examples. May we come in? You may not speak during the test. She may not be in. Should or ought to, they are almost same and they show advice or deduction. You shouldn't smoke. You ought to go to the doctor, or they should arrive by 10. Must is obligation for prohibition as negative and strong certainty. I must do my tax returns. You mustn't drive on the right in the UK. He's not here today. He must be sick. They all show obligation, prohibition, or strong certainty. Last one is would, which shows polite request or inquiry or preference. Would you like a drink? It shows a polite request. And again, I would rather stay in tonight is a kind of a preference. I hope the modal verbs or modal auxiliary verbs are clearer. Students, this was all about today's topic, verb and its kinds. I hope you have a better idea now. Good luck for your tests. Thank you.